Hey everybody, welcome back to another film of the week. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse me if I just seem really out of it. I don't know what happened last night. I guess, fought some insomnia. I just could not sleep for some reason. I was up till like 5 in the morning. It was bad. So, finally got some good sleep. Went to bed around like 5-ish. Woke up around 11. So, got some hours in, thankfully. But yeah, just pretty out of it. My body's like very weak, so and I got a headache, so it's like yeah, just very out of it today. But I don't want to be sitting in my bed all day, so I rather just produce some stuff, do some stuff for you guys, because that will keep my mind occupied. Um, and so yeah, just I'm just so out of it. I'm not sure what triggered it. It might have been maybe some underlying anxiety or something. I was actually really hungry because I had dinner around like 6, so and I passed out around that time. Woke up around 9:30, and then I thought it was actually 12:30. Psyched myself out into thinking that I didn't eat dinner for some reason. It just got really fucking bad. So mentally, I was just like, you know, I don't know where my mind was, but uh, but yeah. So thankfully, I don't have work till Saturday. But anyways, film proper though. Let's get into our film of the week, and this one is gonna be pretty casual because um, this one I've seen a long time ago, and the impact that it has that it had on me is was uh, was very noteworthy, and also again just before we start, just because of all the insomnia that happened and all that. If I'm kind of slurring my words, just apologies. I have the energy now to do it. It's just FYI if you notice I'm like kind of out of it. It's just, you know. But, um, but for this film of the week, I figured to touch on a very specific film. It's a film that every time I kind of think about, it resonates, and the impact emotionally and just overall spiritually, it just still leaves its mark. That film being At Eternity's Gate, which was directed by Julian Scannable. I think that's how you say his name. Co-written also by him. He is mostly known as a painter, which is very fitting considering the subject matter. Um, and stars Willem Dafoe as Vince Van Gogh, a very famous painter, probably if not the most famous painter out there. Um, and it dramatizes a very specific time within Vince Van Gogh's life, specifically um, towards the ends of his life, his mentality kind of fading, and um, he's wearing down. But within that psychosis, we're also seeing where the artistry is birthed and the requirements to presenting such profound work, in that you have to be a little insane in order for the discovery of certain details to present themselves. And we also see it's like contrasting his psychosis with reality itself, seeing how he takes to his paintings, how he discovers his work. Well, in contrast that in reality, what the external looks like, where he is going into like mental asylums, he's cutting off his ears. He is clearly not in a stable condition, and the film showcases that for that descent as it gets further and further and further, and also starring Rupert Friend as well as Oscar Isaac. Mads Mikkelsen also makes an appearance, um, and yeah. So this was released in 2018. So this is a fairly recent picture, um, and the subject of Vince Van Gogh has actually been depicted a few times throughout film history. I believe Martin Scorsese himself actually played that role. Um, I believe it was in Kira Kurosawa's work. I believe in the film called Dreams. I think I could be wrong. I know Kirk Douglas also played that role at one point. So it's a role that's been around. And Willem Dafoe is the more recent iteration, the more recent depiction of such a person. And to start off, I think that the performance by Willem Dafoe is just brilliant. I think that he perfectly captures um, that isolative quality that is, embedded within the film, because the one of the things that the film highlights on is about isolating circumstances and what those isolating circumstances mean for both artistry and for mentality. Um, and you see, as I illustrated, that you have on one side of the coin, um, you have that circumstance that gives you that might perhaps birth more creativity and you noticing certain details that perhaps other people won't notice, to then where reality is, where you are slipping and you are not in the right mind space and you're just further descending into some form of madness. Um, and Willem Dafoe, I think, captures that quite brilliantly, and it's a very careful performance in that it is not looking to showcase any form of like real acting of sorts. It's just subtle in nature and just being in such moment, and it's very detached character. When you watch the character, you notice that distance that is there, but that distance is very informative of the subject itself. It's not that to where you feel that sense of hesitation, like, oh well, I don't know, do I really like this character? Do I really like this and that? It actually further develops and informs the overall depiction of Vince Van Gogh. Um, and I love how aesthetically it is representative of his paintings. They're the tints, the colors, they all represent his Vince Van Gogh's like strokes, his oops, sorry, his his colorings and all this sort of stuff. It's reflective of his paintings. Um, I love um, the wondrous like quality, again, very informative to the circumstance of just what's going on with Vince Van Gogh, at least within this depiction of Vince Van Gogh. Um, but more importantly than anything else, the aura that is crafted within At Eternity's Gate from Julian and what he is wishing to uh, present within such within the behavior, what he's crafting as a behavior. I was just absorbed into that because it bears a heavy spiritual sensibility, and a very, like I said, very wondrous like attitude where the film has a very floaty like quality to it where things are not really absolute. Things just kind of are sporadic. They kind of just happen. And the movie, as it's edited, almost kind of feels that sort of way, where there is a consistent value, there is a consistency in the story. You understand what we're seeing, but the overall editing, which also, by the way, is by Julian, or at least co-edited by Julian, um, it has that very wondrous like nature where it seems as though everything is kind of not absolute and we don't have an actual destination in mind, even though clearly as you watch each of these scenes play out and the shots present themselves, there is that bedded consistency that is there. So it's to say that that wondrous quality is a quality that empowers the overall technicalities within the editing and the overall just narrative itself, creating more of an illustration of their depiction of Vince Van Gogh versus just having the film itself feel quite aimless in design. So it walks a very careful line in how they utilize its behavior and its attitudes, and they make sure to make it informative to the character and not just for show. So it's meaningful. It has a purpose to exist, in that sort of way. Um, and I think that aesthetically it's something quite interesting. I love the technicalities. I love how they inform the character. And Willem Dafoe, I mean, he is just a powerhouse in this. He is just terrific. His performance in this is really, really outstanding. And um, when I think of Willem Dafoe, as a performer, he's done many great work. I mean, most recently he did Inside, which I really loved. And the year after Eternity's Gate, he would go to do The Lighthouse, which I also quite love. Um, but something about this specific movie, the specific, just performance, just the way that he's moving about this film, how he's wishing to carry uh, the the role. There's a subtle, distant, and yet like there's so much flavor to his performance that it makes it so appealing and so rich. And I say the same for the overall. Oh shit! And I say it for sorry, my bottle just fell. Um, and I say the same um, to the overall film. So um, I mean, it has a lot of qualities embedded, and it's a lot of a lot of feelings that you can get from it. You can get that point of, okay, yeah, there is a point of artistry. I could see from his point of view what this means to go through the life like this, but I also see the outside of that, to where he is just insane and he's further descending into such madness. It's really, really honest in its portrait. I don't know exactly how accurate it is to the history of Vince Van Gogh. I mean, from what I'm reading here, apparently it's a theory that perhaps Vince Van Gogh was was died due to manslaughter, rather than the more popular idea, which is that he might have committed suicide. Um, and so I'm not vetted on things about Vince Van Gogh, so I can't sit here and say that which one is the accurate one. All I can say is that the overall attitude, the overall feeling of At Eternity's Gate is that of authenticity, and it feels real, and it feels weightful, and it has a spirit to it that is quite investing and quite enthralling. And the overall filmmaking itself is quite nice. I mean, I don't typically like shaky cam or hand cam, but to how it plays to the character, it absolutely makes sense. There's that distortion that is there within the framing, and it makes perfect sense because of how they're wishing to depict Vince Van Gogh, which is a very, very troubled individual, and on a psychological level. So I think that everything just has a purpose. Most things in this movie has a purpose to exist within the approach to its performance, the filmmaking, the aesthetics. Everything informs the character and plays to that character. And because of that, you find a film that is very committed to the study of a character and less so of a of its aesthetics. Because it could have just been a film that just thinks more about the beauty of such a thing. Oh, look at these landscapes, look at this and that. Or we could have gone for that artsy fartsy attitude where, oh, things are just weird just because, hey, it looks neat. Everything plays to that character, and it makes perfect sense when you are in the company of that character. And through the really, really great performance that is with Willem Dafoe. So I really enjoy this. I know that's some people are kind of iffy on it. It's not, really, it wasn't really well received. I mean, it was mostly received positively, but for the most part, some people were just like, it's kind of an overlooked film, if you ask me, because I think that generally speaking, it just like has a grip that otherwise might have been absent if they had chosen to take it in a different way. So yeah, I absolutely love this, and I hope I think it's still on Netflix. So if you haven't seen it, really check it out. It's really, really good. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on At Eternity's Gate. I really adore this. I really, really adore this. Um, I love the performances. I love the aesthetics. I like the overall nature that it bears, the overall purpose that it also holds on to. It just all informs the character, It's not just there just um, for certain value of like, oh, this looks pretty or this and that. Everything plays that character, and it's great. It's really, really great. So, so those are my thoughts. You guys, let me know your thoughts on At Eternity's Gate. Sorry for all the distortion again. Just my insomnia. I'm just trying to get a grip. Um, but you guys, let me know your thoughts on Eternity's Gate if you guys have seen it and any of your favorite Willem Dafoe performances. And if you have seen any of Julian's other work, I know he's done other films besides Eternity's Gate. Let me know your thoughts about those films in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.